know, not a lot of actors get their first gig on one of the hottest shows in television history.
You need a lunch?
But Bradley Cooper did, and he's never looked back. All right, so Bradley was born and raised in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Eventually moved to Washington and got himself an English degree from Georgetown University, home of the Hoyas. But what he really wanted to do was act. So Bradley made his way to the Big Apple to study drama, and in 1999, he got that gig on Sex and the City.
You know what? I gotta go home.
No way. I'm not letting you out.
A couple of years later, got a larger role, perhaps one he's best known for, Will Tippin on Alias.
You survived.
Yeah, my parents and I sort of went through the same thing.
He also hit the big screen in Wedding Crashers.
I have an announcement.
Alongside Sarah Jessica Parker again. This time it was with Matthew McConaughey in Failure to Launch. Oh, he's also done Broadway. A couple of years ago with Julia Roberts and Paul Rudd in 3 Days of Rain. Now, more recently, Bradley's brought out the comedy in his talent. He's a yes man with Jim Carrey. He also played a guy who cheats on his wife in this year's He's Just Not That Into You. Oh, by the way, also star of a new film with the very funny Zach Galifianakis. It's called The Hangover.
What's on your arm? Bill, you were in the hospital last night.
I guess so, yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, Alan, I'm fine.
What the hell is going on?
Everybody, please say hello to Bradley Cooper. Nice to see you, man. How are you?
Great. Real pleasure to be here.
Thank you, man.
Nice
to have you here. You've actually spent time in Canada. I mean, you've shot in Vancouver, didn't you?
Yeah, I spent like about 8 months in Vancouver 6 years ago, and I can't talk about it.
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing. It's exactly the same. I assume you've thought about this a lot, but what a great film to get to research. Let's just get blindly drunk.
Exactly. Yeah, I spent years, literally years researching for this movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you feel about this? Because you've worked obviously and you've been in films, but this is a big film for you because this is your face on the poster kind of film, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I never really thought of it that way until this is sort of the last leg of a regional press junket I've been doing by myself, and because it's a three-hander and it's like just another movie, and I didn't really think of it other than that. But yeah, I guess if it doesn't do well, I'm screwed.
Well, you can then blame it on the other guys in the film.
Right, then I'll totally, yeah.
I did my part, but Galifianakis blew it.
Yeah, Zach just did not bring it.
Zach Galifianakis is a very funny guy. Fans of comedy will know who he is, but there's a whole group of people who are going to see him.
Do you guys know him at all, Zach Galifianakis?
You will.
Crickets.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess he's not big in Canada. He's actually a genius. We were talking about it before. He really is. I'm actually one of the reasons I'm so excited to be a part of this movie is to be along for his ride, because he really is unbelievable, and I think that things are going to change for him.
I think they will.
Yeah.
Are they going to change for you?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it would be great if it could afford me the opportunity to work with better actors and better filmmakers. But I tell you, man, I've been lucky. I've really been very lucky. I've been able to work with really great people.
You get work.
But what's neat for you is that you're gonna it's been the right pace. You didn't blow up when you were 24 years old.
Right.
Which I think...
Emotionally I did,
yeah.
But yeah.
You waited that long?
Yeah, thank you.
But so in a sense, do you feel like you're prepared for, all those opportunities?
If something happens. Yeah, I mean, with the success in the career that I chose to do, obviously things come with it that could be detrimental. But yeah, I'm not scared of that at all. Maybe I'm naive, but I don't know. I just feel like I have perspective about what I want in my life. So if for some reason, by the grace of God, this movie was a huge hit and allowed me to go on and do great things in movies, that would be unbelievable for me. Yeah.
It's a really funny movie, and what I like about the comedy is it goes way over the line, depending on your line.
Yeah. It makes no apologies for where it's going to go. And when you're doing a comedy, you're constantly trying to think of something new, a new spin, a new take on a scene that we've all seen, And Todd Phillips, I think, is just about the best at that. And he was right in his wheelhouse, because this movie it's not just a series of comedic set pieces strung together. It's actually a detective story. Right. I mean, it's really like a whodunit, and that allows this engine behind it. I mean, the movie just moves like a bullet. And then you have these two killers, Ed Helms and Zach Galifianakis, who they're killers. They come up with these lines in the middle of takes where I can't believe that they thought of this
How much
stuff.
of it was off the page, like off the script that got in there?
Well, I mean, it definitely adheres to a strict structure. Otherwise, it wouldn't work, because it is like, if you took the comedy out, this whole movie could work as a thriller.
Right.
So there were things that have to happen. But for example, like a scene where we're waiting for our car to come in the valet. We can't remember what happened the night before. The car that comes is a police car.
Right.
And the guy says, "Here's your car, detectives." That's the joke of the scene that's written. But Zach and Ed, while they're waiting for the car, they're just sitting there and they're rolling the camera, and Ed's like, "Do you know what to do? Why are you holding the baby?" And Zach's like, "No, I found babies all the time." He's, "You find babies?" "Yeah, where? A coffee bean." "You find babies a coffee bean." And as he's saying that, he's putting the blue blocker sunglasses on the baby.
Yeah.
So you have like 4 jokes
that aren't
while
planned.
it was just a transition scene of the car coming, and that's the way for the whole movie. But and Todd would throw lines in from off set, like through a microphone. There's one scene where he holds up a used condom in the back of the car.
That's a great scene.
And
yeah.
like how many is it, the used condom? That's funny. But he goes, "Hey guys, I found a snake skin." And so it's like a new take. You've never heard that. And that was Todd from behind. He's like, "Oh, is it a snake skin?" And we were like, "What?" And we could not stop laughing.
Okay, at one point, when I from time to time I go to Vegas, and Vegas is a great place to lose your life, which at times I've done. But and I've been there before. And we've had lots of celebrities on the show. But I had a moment when I was in Vegas last summer where I just I felt a presence, and I looked over like this. I was like, "Holy it's Mike Tyson." Mike Tyson was standing right beside. He was in a casino, right? You acted with Mike Tyson.
I know.
What's that? I know there's a lot of stuff about Mike Tyson.
It's crazy.
But for a minute, Mike Tyson was the best in the world at something.
Forget it. Yeah, he was our hero.
Yeah.
That was scary initially, and then like I fell in love with him. Yeah, I don't know, has the documentary come out here
it's
yet?
out here,
yeah,
yeah.
which is fantastic.
Absolutely.
That I recommend everybody see it, by James Toback, about his life, and you really get to know him. The guy that's in that movie is the guy that I met. But the first day of shooting was a scene where I do something awful to one of his pets. I mean, really awful.
And you don't get the full sense of that until much later in the movie.
Yeah, until you see the visual of me doing it. And so obviously Mike Tyson's very upset with me. And because it was an improvising sort of arena, he's improvising lines like, "I'm gonna kill you," like things like that. And I actually got really scared. Not as Phil, the character, but Bradley. And I remember I thought like, wait, I don't know this guy. I know that he's Mike Tyson. So I think at one point I actually was like, cut, can we cut?
Who knows where his stop button is,
I
right?
know, that's what I said. But then the next day he was just amazing, and he signed boxing gloves for us all, and he invited us to the premiere of his documentary. Yeah, he was fantastic.
That's cool, mate. Let's go back a little bit. Is this that far a stretch for you for an English grad from Georgetown? Which, I mean, this wasn't your calling in a sense, but it was.
Well, it's a far stretch it is. But I always knew I wanted to do it. So in my mind, it was never. What would have been a far stretch was to do anything else, which I think, at least for me, is the only way I could ever go through doing a job like this, because I find it to be very difficult. I think it's a hard life. While I'm very blessed and lucky to do it, I find it's not the easiest thing in the world. Just to, hey, I'm going to be an actor.
Yeah.
So I felt like I had to do it, and I really couldn't do anything else with my life. I just never did anything about it until after college, because I think I was so scared. And I just sort of, I don't know why I never did. I mean, I never did a thing about it, but since I was a kid, people would say, it was kind of like a joke. It's like, hey, what does Bradley want to be? I was like, I'm going to be an actor. Yeah. So what are you going to do? Nothing.
That's like a lot of actors today, though, right? That's kind of like a lot of actors today.
Really?
You just sort of sit back and kind of let life happen.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Yeah. Well, we don't call them actors, we call them stars.
Oh, okay,
right?
okay.
They're very different. You're a Philly boy, right? Philadelphia. Yeah. You went to school. Was it Germantown? Was that your school?
Germantown Academy, yeah.
Germantown Academy. Former Toronto Raptor Alvin Williams, same graduating year as you.
He and I were actually great friends.
Oh, come on.
We used to... he used to come over to my house and we would study for like midterms together, and Like we were really close friends. We actually I went to Villanova my freshman year before I transferred to Georgetown, and we tried to be roommates, but there was a policy that only basketball players could be roommates, and I love him. And I just reconnected with him about 3 months ago because I hadn't talked to him for years, and he moved back to Philly and he's doing great. He got injured, isn't that what happened?
Yeah. I mean, he had a moment though up here where people were real big fans
know.
of him. It was cool. The other thing is, I mean, politically, you did some stuff for Obama, right? Which I know that you had hosted some events. There's a photo. You actually got a photo of you and Obama, like you got to meet him?
I do. It's so lame, but I have it on my phone.
Do you really?
I do.
We need to see that picture.
I don't know where my phone is, but yeah, I was in Springfield, Missouri, 2 days before the election, and just campaigning, and I didn't think I was going to see him actually. And then we went down. We were ushered to this field, and they said, "Oh yeah, there's going to be a speech." And next thing I know, he comes walking out with Michelle and the 2 children, and I mean, I could not speak. I mean, and I was like, my cheeks were shaking. You know, I had that like perma smile, and I said something awful like, "Let's get her done." I like held those. I did. It was awful. But I did say that.
Hey, because you said that, you got him to vote in Arkansas.
Thank you.
You know?
Yeah, not Missouri.
No, not Missouri.
No, we lost
not.
Missouri. But yeah, that was that was unbelievable.
Is Obama the guy you campaigned for, or is it a political candidate you campaigned for? Like, was that a stretch for you to step outside and campaign for a person?
As opposed to
being involved in politics generally.
You know what? I fell in love with politics at Georgetown because I went to Georgetown University, which is in D.C., and I went to Clinton's second inauguration, and so I definitely got the bug then, and it just sort of hit me during the during that election where I thought, oh, maybe I can call and volunteer, and that's what I did, and I realized and I did like a USO tours also. I just sort of hit me like, oh, I can do other stuff besides completely try to act all the time.
Did he recognize you as the guy that almost kissed Sarah Jessica Parker, or like the guy from Alias? Did he recognize you?
You know what he did, honestly, and this is how good he is. I hosted this event, but there were like 40 hosts, but so you just sort of said you were a host, and there were all these. There were like maybe 1,000 people in this room, and he was walking up, and I would just sort of put my hand out, and he literally went like, he shook my hand, he was like, "Hey, man, you're an actor. You're good." I could not believe it. I couldn't believe the thing. Before I got that, like, oh, he thinks I'm a good actor. It was like, how the heck was he able to focus like that in a split second? I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, and that's the mark of a real communicator. I mean, that you have that power. That's unbelievable.
And that's a trip for you too, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was insane.
You got to see this film. It's called The Hangover. You'll enjoy it. It's a good, funny one. Bradley Cooper, everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming. All right, stick around. Curling champion Kevin Martin. If you've never seen him before, we'll be right back. That was great.